Morning or night? How many say morning? How many say night? It's night. He's going home from work. He's looking into the west. The sun is down in the west, half an hour high. It's a half hour before sunset. Hey, I'm the detective, or you guys are the detective here? I can even tell you what month and day it is too when he comes along here. Though it's hard to imagine what day it is, but you'll see it'll come. I see you also face-to-face crowds of men and women attired in usual costumes. How curious you are to me. On the ferry boats, the hundreds and hundreds that cross, returning home, are more curious to me than you suppose. Again, he's looking. He's curious. He's always curious about people around him. And you that shall cross from shore to shore, this is his point now. Years hence are more to me and more in my thoughts, my meditations, than you might suppose. I'm thinking about you guys here in this classroom. You don't realize it, but that's what I'm thinking about, he's saying. I'm not saying that. He's saying. And like he's saying in the end of the last poem, I stand somewhere waiting for you. That's what he's going to say at the end of this poem. He wants to hook up with you. He wants to connect with you. And you're going to have to judge if he's done it, because at the end he's going to ask you, have I connected with you? Have I connected? And he thinks he is connecting. You'll have to decide if he does connect. I think, in fact, he does ultimately in some way connect, but I may just be prejudiced. Okay, he starts his little game here in part 2 where he gets his gears moving. He wants to get himself moving. It's like a guy getting up in the morning, getting his blood going. He starts to get the music coming out of his mouth. So I'm just going to read this fast, okay? The impalpable substance of me from all things at all hours of the day, the simple, compact, well-joined scheme of myself, disintegrated, everyone disintegrated, yet part of the scheme, the similitudes, making up his words of the past and those of the future. I don't care what he means. Let's just hear the sound of it. It's like music. The glory strung like beads on my smallest sights and hearings, on the walk of the street, the passage over the river, the current rushing so swiftly and swing with me far away. The others that are to follow me, the current now is also the current of time, like in Buddhism, the current of life, the current of existence, the ones coming before me and after me. The others that are to follow me, the ties between me, so the crowds on the ferry boats represent that crowd too of time passing. Me and them, the certainty of others. Others are coming, like I am here. The life, the love, the sight, the hearing of others, all this he's packed into this thing. That's one sentence and he's packed all that in there. I got it, I don't know if you did. Others will enter the gates, and here he's picking up on that theme of the ferry and cross from shore to shore. In Buddhism, the ferryman is the Buddha, and crossing the stream of existence is the ferry boat man. He's aware of that, I think. Others will watch the run of the flood tide. And this is his genius, his rhythms. Because this whole rhythm here is centered around what? The word others. Others, 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 others. Repeated over and over and over again. And that someone, I don't think anyone ever really did that. Others will watch the run of the flood tide. Others will see the shipping in Manhattan north and west, and the heights of Brooklyn to the south and east. Others will see the islands large and small. Doesn't matter what he says after the others. Could be any image that comes into his mind. The rhythm centers around the repetition of the word others. 50 years hence, others will see them as they cross. The sun half an hour high. Again, you know it's half an hour before sunset. 100 years hence, so many 100 years hence, others will see them. Will enjoy, here it is, the sunset, the pouring in of the flood tide, the falling back and then the tide beneath the boat as it crashes along. So he's talked about time and place, and you and others coming and feeling what he felt. He didn't realize that you're not going to feel that. Although maybe more now you will. My father actually used to take me to his work in Manhattan when I was young. He lived out in New Jersey. And we used to take the ferry boat because it was quicker in some regards than to take the tube or whatever it is they used to take under the river, and it wasn't as stinky and smelly. It was incredible, even though it was winter and there was ice on the water, and you're bundled up in an icy blast coming down the Hudson River, and someone just to get out on the deck of the ferry boat as it crossed Hudson River, a huge river, the unforgettable experience. So obviously, of course, this speaks to me, even though he's on the other side of Manhattan. He's not coming across the Hudson River, which is really a big river, but going across what's called the East River, where the Brooklyn Bridge is now. And if I could draw a map of Manhattan, I'll do that next time, but we don't have enough time, so we're going to hurry here. So maybe it speaks more to someone who's actually been on these ferry boats like I have. It avails not time nor place, distance avails not. I am with you, you men and women of a generation or ever so many generations hence, and he was like 100 years before me, and 150 years before you guys. Just as you feel when you look at the river and sky, this is his connection. I felt. Of course, you aren't on the ferry boat rally, but all of you say you have been there. So he's saying, when you, just like you're feeling, don't forget, I was there too. Just as any of you is one of the living crowd, I was one of the crowd. Just as you were refreshed by the gladness of the river and the bright flow, I was refreshed. Just as you stand and lean on the handrail, again the just now, yet hurried with the swift current, I stood yet was hurried. Just as you look on the numberless masts of ships and the thick steam pipes of steamboats, he thinks it's going to stay like that, sailboats and steamships. I looked. I too, many and many a time, crossed the river of old. He changes his rhythm. Watched the 12th month seagulls, saw them high in the air, floating with motionless wings. Let me stop there a minute. What time of the year is it? December. How do we know it? 12th month seagulls. So it's now December, a half an hour before sunset. But what kind of day is it in December? It's like an Indian summer, they used to call it. It's almost like a summer day. It's one of those mild days in December when the sun is out, and it's just a beautiful, almost summer day in the middle of December. I'll hurry here and then I'll let you go. Let me just finish this seagull stuff. Floating with motionless wings, oscillating their bodies, saw how the glistening yellow, now he's going to describe the seagulls for you. Lit up parts of their bodies, left the rest in strange shadows, saw the slow wheeling circles. This is he's at his high point now. There's nothing corny in this poem at all. He's got his style totally down, and this is like a perfect poem in his map. And the gradual edging toward the south, saw the reflection of the summer day. Now it's saw. The previous one was just. Now it's saw. Saw the reflection of the summer. You want to learn how to write poetry? Read Whitman. Don't read Longfellow. Saw the reflection of the summer sky in the water. Had my eyes dazzled with the shimmering track of beams. Looked at the fine centrifugal spokes of light around the shape of my head and post sunlit of the water. Looked on the haze of the hills southward and southwestward. Looked on the vapors that flew in the fleeces tinged with violet. Looked toward the lower bay to notice the vessels arriving. Saw their approach. Saw aboard those that were near me. Saw the white sails of schooners and sloops. Saw the ships and anchors. The sailors at work on the rigging, the round mast. Here it gives you an absolutely incredible picture of New York Harbor in 1850. 5. You don't even need a camera. He's giving you a total snapshot of his time. And what about this seagull? Have you ever seen seagulls following boats that you've been on? They do. They kind of hover above the boat in the breeze. How many have seen that? And you can't help but be attracted to them. They're so perfect. They're so sleek. Their bodies are so absolutely perfectly tuned with their glide, and they're just hovering there on the wind. And you see the yellow under their wings. And he's describing it all perfectly to you. And also, of course, this isn't our world, but his picture of New York at sunset and the commuters going forward. I think he's going to Manhattan here, not from Manhattan, as I think. I've been around Manhattan on some of these tourist boats, the Circle Line. How many have taken the Circle Line around Manhattan when they were toured that place? It's fun to do. I recommend it. In any case, look at here, line 8. The seagulls oscillating their bodies in the hayboat in the twilight and the bladed lighters. What gods can exceed these that clasp me by the hand, with voices I love, call me promptly and loudly by my nighest name? What he's going to do is try to establish a relationship and a connection with you. He's going to say, we've made a connection, we understand, and there's something between us, but next time we'll see the end of this, and next time we'll read Lilacs Last, Enjoy Our Bloom, and we'll finish Walt Whitman next time. After that, you got to bring